Hey guys, welcome back to WODdoc Project365, episode 334. A couple weeks, not a couple weeks, a couple days back, last week or so, we started talking about the shoulder, and we looked at the asymmetries or possible dominance patterns that arose with the shoulder. We looked at pushing strength versus pulling strength, and we went into different planes of motion when we did that. Today we're going to do the same idea, all right, except we're moving downstream to the torso, and we're going to start examining the torso. Now, when we do that, the first thing we want to do is we want to look at the sagittal plane of motion. Now, to give you an idea of what that is, we first need to understand what anatomical planes of motion are. All right? So if I was to take, there's three of them. If I was to take a piece of paper or a knife and cut myself straight down the middle, dividing my right half from my left half, that would be sagittal plane. And to move within the sagittal plane would be to flex or extend. If I was to turn myself sideways and the sagittal plane was in this direction now, if I was to either extend this way or flex that way, that would be movement within the sagittal plane, okay? There are two other planes of motion. There is what they call a frontal plane, okay? That divides our body from the front to the back, all right? And movement within that would be from side to side. There is also a plane of motion which cuts us in half, all right? They call that the transverse plane. And the movement within the transverse plane would be twisting. What we're going to do is we're going to look at sagittal plane mechanics today, or faults in the sagittal plane, specifically speaking about the torso. How do we do that? We're going to get ourselves into what they call a push-up plank position. And the way that we do that is very, very simple. We get ourselves down into a push-up position, and all we're doing is getting in that specific plane type position where everything is in line. Our shoulders, our hips, our knees, our heels are all going to be in line, just like we're about to do a push-up. And we're going to hold this for as long as we can, okay? We're going to record that time. We're going to use it for tomorrow. Faults that you begin to see, and when you need to be able to cut the time. You don't have to fall onto the ground to be considered the time being up, all right? What you want to be looking for is, do they stay in that perfect plane position, okay? Or do they start to bring their butt up, right, and drop their back down like a saddled horse, okay? Or do they start to pike their butt up into the air, okay? All these would signify the end of the test. That would cut the time, okay? We're just directly in that perfect plane position, that perfect plank position where the shoulders, the hips, and the knees and the heels are all in the same plane. And if they're not, time is cut. We're going to write that time down, and we're going to compare it to some stuff that we do over the next 2 days. Guys, until tomorrow, we're optimizing function to optimize performance.